This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome to the Elevate Construction Podcast, where we interview givers and producers in our industry that are elevating the construction experience for you. My name is Jason Schroeder, and in today's podcast, we will be interviewing Dr. Grennan with BioHealth Management, an orthopedic specialist that treats and prevents construction injuries for workers. Please share this podcast with anybody or any company that you think might benefit from this today. There's some really great content and services that we'll talk about that other people could use and that would benefit workers throughout this industry. So here's why you would want to listen today. Have you ever wanted to make a difference for the workers on site, for the craft, for folks that have bodies that are a little bit broken down and they don't know what they're going to do long term, for people that come to work in pain and you want to be able to help them? Have you ever wanted to really do something nice aside from the barbecues and lunches and gifts and raffles and other things that you're doing for your workers? Have you ever wanted to really have something that would make an impact? Have you ever had somebody come up to you with worry and fear in their eye, just worried about an injury or a pain that they have in their body, and have them come to the realization that if they don't have motion and functioning joints and range of motion and a back that can wear bags, that they might not get a paycheck when they come home, and have them worry about that? If any of these things have ever resonated with you, even a little bit, then today's podcast is for you. So without further ado, here is the interview audio in its original form. And we're here with Dr. Stephen Grennan and Amanda Hill with BioHealth Management, and they focus on finding success for our workers in the construction industry and in the industry in general through biohealth management. And that means that they help people avoid injuries and provide preventative care so that we can create remarkable experiences for our workers and their health and their families and be more effective at work. They've been doing this for about 27 years, and so I'd like to introduce Dr. Stephen Grennan and Amanda Hill. Can you say hi for our audience?
Hi, gang.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
So I'm going to start out with a question that I absolutely love, and I'll start with you, Dr. Grennan. What do you love? What are you passionate about?
It's funny. I tell my kids many times to find a job that they love. And if you can find a job you love, you really won't ever have to work a day in your life. And after going 26 plus years, I still enjoy going to work. I still have a passion for getting that individual who thinks he has to live with a discomfort that he wakes up with, goes to bed with, feels he has a chronic problem. And then I get a chance to sit in front of him, do the assessments on him, and find solutions for the types of dysfunctions and the discomforts that he has, and have him recognize that you don't have to live with a lot of these discomforts and nagging problems. There are solutions out there. It takes them to respond, but once we find solutions, but I never get tired of that person looking back at me and say, wow, man, that feels better. I feel better. I never get tired of that.
And that ties perfectly into the mission of this podcast, to elevate this industry. And if we have workers who have functioning bodies and they're healthy and their mind's active and they're focused on what they're doing instead of, distracted by a back pain or a leg pain, or they're not even able to work or use their body, I think that ties in perfectly. So I'm super excited to talk to you guys today. So Amanda, what about you? What do you love? What are you passionate about? Why are you in this business with Dr. Grennan?
There's really nothing like the smile somebody gets when they get done seeing us. They're like, oh my goodness, this actually works. I actually feel good for the first time in probably 5 years. Like, it's a look of such happiness and such shock. And they feel so blessed to have given the opportunity by their employer to bring a service like ours to them. Because a lot of these workers are so hard working But they've also been told that just because they chose this industry, they're just going to have to live with those aches and pains for the rest of their life because they chose to be a hardworking individual in industrial labor. So we give them a different picture of what they chose to be in. They get to build things, they get to enjoy life, and they can feel good at the end of the day as well.
Well, that's fantastic. So explain to me, and sometimes you're going to have to simplify it for me. And I'm hoping this helps anybody listening to this podcast. What exactly do you do? Can you just spell it out in simple terms for me? What services do you provide? What are you trying to accomplish? And what could somebody expect if you were involved in their company with their workers? What do you do?
Well, we go into different groups. I can tell you that over the years now, there's so many companies that are interested in what we're doing. We like to align ourselves with those companies that have the vision that they really want to step up and take care of their employees. You get a lot of employees who will talk the talk, but don't walk the walk. And then when you get companies that say, our most valuable asset are our people. Well, sometimes I like to say, prove it. And some of that proof is calling a group like myself in and giving us an opportunity to take your people that have the types of discomforts and range of motion problems and flexibility problems that they've occurred along the way and find solutions to reestablish those range of motions and to reduce those symptoms that they have. There was a day they started out in this field that they didn't have a problem. I get some people who say, doc, my right shoulder hurt, but I've been doing this job a long time. I ask them, well, how old is the left shoulder? That one doesn't bother you. So there's things you can do to restore people back to a way where they don't have the types of functional problems that they do now. They just don't know how to go about it.
Fantastic. And I want to share my experience really quickly. I remember a long time ago. I think you said it was 18 years ago that we first met, and you came out to a project site and did these assessments and started working with workers specifically. But I have to be honest with you, I didn't take that as serious as I could have, and I apologize for that. But when you came out to the cancer center, I think that was in 2013, through 14, 15, it's somewhere around there. I remember that you had me come in for an assessment, and I remember you had this industrial sized, I don't know if it's an orthopedic vibrator, but this massager that you used on the back of my leg. And didn't realize what my diet was doing for me. And you told me that if we did this and we looked at some of the range of motion I had in my legs, that you'd be able to help me and get rid of some of that lactic acid. And I remember when I got off of that table, I felt like I was floating away. Like I walked out of there and I'm like, I felt like I had, you know, 10 pounds strapped to each leg that I didn't even know was there. And you helped me with my knee brace, and I think something to do with my elbow. But I remember I had stopped jogging because my knee was hurting me. In about 2 weeks, I was back up and running and jogging. And every one of those workers on site just were over the top grateful for the service that you had provided. I remember that it's funny, after you visit the job site, there are people out there with their elbow braces or their wrist braces and just feeling good and super happy. And I do resonate with the fact that they really did feel like they were cared for. They felt like there was a path forward. And I'll tell you why it matters to me. Some of these craft folks come up to me and say, my body's all I have. I mean, you guys in management can go work on computers, you can work from home, you can do anything you want. But my hands, my legs, my ability to wear my bags, that's how I make my living. And my body's breaking down. And I've always, thought about that panic that you can see in their eyes and in their voice, and thought, how awesome would it be to help them with that? And that's exactly what I think you did. So that's my experience. Can you give me, Amanda, what's some of the feedback you get from other contractors when you visit? I mean, it might be a little similar to your introduction, but what's some of the feedback that you get?
I think that they have a similar reaction to you. They're kind of shocked. Those contractors and management who don't know us go in a little skeptical we've had to market. We've only grown our business and we've actually been very successful because of word of mouth and the success of our program. So that speaks volumes. But when you have a safety professional or safety director being told by upper management, I want you to do this program, there's a lot of skepticism in it. And they don't really think that their employees are going to embrace it, that's going to do what they've been told it could do. They've tried other programs. And so people are shocked to see the success from day one and the embracement of employees from day one and how excited people are about this program and the whole positivity of it from day one.
So I was going to go in order and ask you next how you got started, but I'd actually like to skip down and ask you the question, if you were going to come out to the job site for anybody listening to this podcast, as this scales around the country, and somebody reaches out to you, they don't know much about you, they haven't met you, what would a visit or a consultation look like? What could they expect? Can you walk us through day one, day two, to get people a little more comfortable?
Well, I can tell you that when we first start out, and I tell people that we like to give our audience an orientation as to what we do and what they can expect. And we let our audience know that we've got a program that if you give us an opportunity to show you what it is, we've got a real good chance of making your lives better. We got a better chance of having the function of your back work better, your knees, your shoulders. And if we were able to jump through the hoops that a lot of these employees are going to ask of us, and we do that, would this be a program that you'd like to participate? And Jason, to this day, on a volunteer basis, on all of our programs, we have an 89 to 91% participation when we go to these sites, because they're either intrigued, curious, or they have problems that they really want someone to take a look at, because these are not company programs. This is a Joe program, a Mary program, a Tony program, a Jose program, a Marie program. These are specific programs based upon your concerns, your problems, the things that you have to deal with every day. And we get an opportunity to do assessments that take a certain amount of time. In the beginning, it's only about a 20-minute period of time to go over with an individual. But through that 20 minutes, we're able to assess what type of a map we need to create to find a solution for that individual.
And thank you for that. And to simplify it even further for me and for anybody that might be listening, day one, I'm used to you rotating or having the project team rotate in workers one at a time for that 20-minute, 30-minute assessment. And what I like about what you do is that you give them, I don't know if this is the right way to explain it, but like a taste of what's to come. You usually show them what, good eating and taking care of your muscles and stretching can do for you, right? And then you address specific conditions, which I'll ask you about in a minute. And then the next day they come back for, I don't know if you would call it treatment, but for specifically follow up. And then, and I'll put this little plug in there. If you have a smart contractor, you'll be back, a month later to follow up, right? so
Those are the smart ones.
well, I said it, you didn't say it, so there's no way to get in trouble with that. Really, really quickly, without revealing confidential information here, what are the most common things that you see? Meaning, pretty much every visit you see, somebody has problem with this body part or with this or with this. Can you mention just a couple of those as a representative example?
Absolutely. The number one's always going to be low back. Low back discomforts, whether you are a heavy operator equipment, truck driver, ready mix, if you're a mason, carpenter, most of the time you will have some kind of low back discomfort because of hamstrings. Hamstrings are probably our number one corrective technique that it's our corrective plan to get people's backs healthy, because when you have a tight hamstring and you don't have the fluidity of movement with that tight hamstring, when you're going to pick up something, when you're rotating, when you're sitting, you're going to have your hamstrings pulling on your low back. So that's always the number one area we go into because it's the easiest way to start getting people feeling better. And then the second one's going to be shoulder. We do a lot of work out here in Hawaii. And when I'm collecting data, shoulders are actually more common than low back. And with shoulders, we just do a lot of education on stretching, preparation, overuse, proper form and lifting, what to do if they know they have a job of high level repetitive motion with their arms above their head. It just depends on the task at hand, but we do a lot of education on prevention.
But I would say the number one across mainland from New York to California, it is always going to be backs.
Backs. Okay.
Right.
X.
Well, real quick, where's your accent from, Dr. Grennan? Where do you get that? In case anybody says.
It's funny. I was going to ask you the same thing. Where's yours from? I'm from New Jersey.
New Jersey, awesome, awesome. I heard you say New York, and then that just kind of made I don't know if that's good or bad, but I was like, I'm going to ask him where his accent is. But I got 3 more questions for you. How did you get started? And then I'll give you 2 more here, and we'll close this down. But how did you get started in this business?
I'll make it quick, but I was working. I had a private clinic in Kenilworth, New Jersey, down the street from Memorial Hospital, and I had my private practice here. I did chiropractic and orthopedic work there, and I had one FedEx driver who came to me, and he basically had a low back problem, and these guys they load their own trucks, they drive their trucks. And sitting, as you know, can cause a lot of reduction in the curvature in the lower back that can create low back problems. So these guys were loading the trucks, driving the trucks, unloading the trucks. He got out well in a very short period of time, and FedEx over by Newark Airport ended up sending me a number of other drivers who were having problems. Over a period of time, I got a call from the Memphis hub, and they indicated that I was getting their people back to work quicker than any other clinic that they were utilizing. Rogers, I think his name was Roger Smith. Fritz Smith, running FedEx. There was a big convention in Washington, D.C. at the time. Elaine Chao was the Department of Labor secretary for Bush at the time. They were intrigued with my program. They asked me to come down to Washington, D.C. to talk at the Department of Labor. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. There were about 300 companies there when I got there to speak about the fact that there are programs that are specific to different types of industries that can prepare people for those tasks that they do. And before I knew it, Jason, when I got done, I had numerous people around me looking for my card to apply a program. It was during the years where musculoskeletal disorder was a big topic, and what could we do to take care of our people? And my thought was there was a lot of generic programs. We needed more specific programs. We needed people to participate in a program that was about them, that was for them, that we found solutions and we gave it to them that they would apply. And that's basically the formula that made me look good. You can get anybody you can get a lot of places that will tell you what your problem is, but if you can't get them to be responsible enough to apply certain solutions so that they can help you reach a particular level of health, the words I was speaking mattered to these people, and I had companies galore calling me. And one company, from Roadway to Ryder to Pepsi to Waste Management to Campbell's Soup it just went on and on.
Wow. So I'm going to direct this question to Amanda, and I want you to talk about Dr. Grennan, if you don't mind. Why does he do what he does? And then I want him to answer for himself. So that's my next one.
Yeah, I think he loves doing this because he loves helping people. And there's not a lot of facilities out there that are actually really focusing on the industrial worker. I mean, if you met Dr. Steve on the street, you would not think that he's a doctor. We normally look like we just came off of a construction site. We are regular people. He's such a regular person. He wants to talk to you. He wants to just chat it up, find out what's going on in your life. How can he make a difference? He educates people by just talking to them instead of talking at them. He's very charismatic. People like him, but he does have such a passion to just make people feel better. He was given a gift. He knows he has a gift of healing or helping people, and he wants to share it.
Okay, I'm putting it on you. I know you probably don't want to talk about yourself, but why do you do what you do, Doctor?
Listen, I have found what I'm supposed to do. It's basically, this is what I'm designed to do, and I'm lucky to have found it.
So I will ask one more thing. Anything you want this audience to know? As we're closing down this podcast, and I'll ask you for your contact number here in a minute, is there anything that you want people to know so that we can better fulfill your vision for why you do this, what you're trying to do, what this world needs? Anything you want the audience to know?
Well, I'm forever looking to prove that we've got a program that can absolutely make a difference with your employees, with your OSHA recordables, with the medical costs that are forever being just dumped into the toilet and lost. And you get an opportunity for employees to come back to management to say, not only thank you, but these are employees who get to go home feeling better parents, better husbands, better uncles, better friends, because of the way they feel. It's a great gift.
That's fantastic. Well, I can't thank you enough for being on with us today and for sharing a bit of your time. I hope that people will reach out. I hope that this will continue our mission of elevating construction, making it to where our workers feel respected and loved. Make it so that our people have the health that they need to go do what they were designed to do, and they can fulfill their purpose in life and have happiness and fulfillment, not only at work, but at home. So, Amanda, will you share your contact information and then say goodbye to the audience, and we'll close this down and we'll see you on the next one.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jason. We really appreciate you. You can reach us at reducedinjuries.com. You can also reach us at amanda@reducedinjuries.com or Dr. Steve at reducedinjuries.com.
Well, thank you. Say goodbye to everybody, and we'll
Thanks for having us. Let's do this again.
absolutely. All right, interview's over. I'm back, and I really hope you enjoyed that and felt the interview was helpful. I really enjoyed doing that interview and talking to them. They are very professional, and I've had them come to the site and provide this service for workers on my projects, and it's been an absolutely remarkable experience. So the vision for this is that we have an avenue, a method, a service, a treatment that can take care of our craft that would provide a remarkable experience for them, for their families, for their future, their ability to work. And, at what cost? I mean, how much does an injury cost compared to preventative services like this? What are the costs of crews that are not bought in and won over, where we don't make our production rates, where we don't make our units, versus a group of people that know for a fact that you care about them and they will be careful and safe and prevent injuries for themselves and for us and for you, because they feel that reciprocity, they feel taken care of, they feel that love. And I just feel like if anybody would go try this, they would see for themselves what a wonderful thing it is to live a life of purpose and to go take care of people. So really hope this has been helpful. Please reach out to me on LinkedIn if you want to do an interview or provide feedback, or if you have a podcast request. There is just so much great information that we can share on these. I really hope this has been helpful for you today and that you have the contact information. If not, please reach out to me. I'll get it to you. And I'll also help set it up for you if you want. So until we meet again, let's go do something to take care of our workers, to make sure that their asset, which is their bodies and their minds, right, is taken care of so that they can work in a safe, healthy, productive, and enjoyable manner the rest of their careers, and really not have too much worry that what they're doing isn't sustainable and that they'll always be able to bring a paycheck home for their families, and do everything that we can to support that. And so hope you're able to take this and do something with it. Until then, on we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, Please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.